Hello, I'm Richard Hunter, Head of Markets, and welcome to our look ahead for the week commencing the 28th of July. It's been another week of records, both in the US and the UK. Certainly in terms of the US, there's been a very good start to the earnings season. There have been a couple of exceptions, such as IBM and Tesla, but for the most part so far, around 80% of companies have beaten expectations, Google owner Alphabet being a good more recent example. On top of that, there also seems to have been some real progress in terms of trade talks, certainly with Japan and the US and possibly the EU as well. And in the UK, we're seeing increasing popularity of the FTSE 100 in particular as an investment destination. So in the year to date, the Dow Jones in the States is now up by 5%. The S&P 500 and Nasdaq, both at record closing highs. They've risen by 8.2% and 9% respectively. FTSE 100 hit its own record high again on Thursday, currently up by 11.4%. Now, turning to next week, in any quarterly reporting season, there's always 1 week when there's a particular avalanche of numbers coming through. Next week is that week. In the UK, there's a couple of standout things to look for. Half-year numbers from Barclays, for example, shares up by about 57% over the last year. Two things in particular here. On the investment banking side, and we saw an extremely strong performance in the States from JP Chase, there could be some additional income on the basis of more deal making, but also fees and indeed trading. Second thing to look out for, credit cards. Whether there's going to be any more delinquencies, impairments, or indeed higher fees announced by Barclays, and that's both in the US and the UK. Also, HSBC had half-year numbers, shares up about 45% over the last year. Again, on its investment banking side, keep an eye out for the trading income. Also, of course, it's got exposure to the Asian regions and China in particular. Now, this is an area where the economy has been standing up rather better than expected despite the tariff traumas, and HSBC is targeting what it describes as the mass affluent sector, particularly in China. Let's see what the growth looks like there. Also, second quarter numbers from Next, very well regarded firm, shares up by about 38% over the last year and by about 81% over the last 3 years. A company which is increasingly becoming famous for under-promising and over-delivering to the extent that there ironically might be some disappointment if we don't see yet another pre-tax profit upgrade next week. Again, focus is likely to be on its burgeoning online business and indeed its international offering. So apart from those three in the UK, any number of other numbers to look out for: Standard Chartered, AstraZeneca, Glaxo, British Aerospace, Rolls-Royce and Shell, to mention but a few. And it's no less busy in the States either. There's updates there from the likes of Boeing, Ford, Chevron and Exxon, the oil companies. And of course, the Magnificent Seven are going to get into full swing next week with updates from Meta, Microsoft, Apple and Amazon. Thank you for watching. Have a great week.